Well, here we are. We are back for another little spoiler talk, and I do appreciate everybody that does decide to take some time out of their day to have me talk about some stuff here. Oh boy. Yes, 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 yes. The movie that a lot of people were expecting from 2026. One of the most anticipated movies of this year, possibly next to Spider-Man. Doomsday. That's gonna be having its own issues come along. But we're not here for that. We are here for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. And as I said before in my review, I'm not well versed in the Iliad, Homer's work, not too much, barely at all. So I can't really speak a lot from an accuracy standpoint here, but a little research I was able to do, some things I was able to find out, compare, contrast, have a little fun, dare I say. We got some issues. If you saw my review for it and I had to give it a scale out of anything, I would give this a 5. A 5 out of 10. Christopher Nolan, arguably one of the best directors in Hollywood. Tenet, tried it, couldn't understand it, not my thing. Bad day at the office. As I said before, still with the Odyssey remains the same. Will this movie flop? Absolutely not. Will this movie underperform? Yes. They obviously wanted to probably hit 900, hit the big 1B. I'm going to guess still 750, maybe 8. But what did hit 700 is the dislike ratio for the Odyssey. That is crazy. I still do think the biggest ratio is going to be from Snow White. I think that was the biggest so far. But you have to look at it also that this is a Christopher Nolan movie. This isn't just some no-name lowball director. This is Christopher Nolan. You can say anything you want about the guy. You can. Free country, go ahead. You can say whatever you want. It's Christopher Nolan, though, who has always given us some of the best visuals ever in movies. Pretty damn good stuff. So we're going to get into it now. What caused this movie to hit 700,000 dislikes? From the Odyssey, folks. We are going to take a look at that now. Because as of right now, from the Odyssey, how it starts off is always important. But also, ladies, it's how you finish. With Travis Scott. Immediately when Travis Scott was first announced for this movie, a lot of people immediately were not happy at all because I don't see his character in here at all. I even think it was what Demacus. That's who Travis Scott was. Him doing parts for the score and soundtrack in this movie is one of the dumbest things that you can do. He could have been playing anybody else in this movie. I would not see the character. All I would see is just Travis Scott, who wanted, as Christopher Nolan said, to pay homage to the analogus of rap, as he said. And that's going to take us into some of the biggest controversy, one of many, with this movie. We're going to get into some of the characters. Make no mistake, giving off Travis Scott. That's just how I'm going to refer to him throughout this review. Because trust me, he ain't going to be in it long. A lot of people that were shown in this movie, well, a lot of people that were shown in the trailers were not in this movie very long. And we're going to get into that. I got a lot of things I want to talk about for that movie. Because the movie starts off with our favorite Greek soldier, Ellen Page. Elliot, whatever. Tom Holland did great in this film. I'll get the Tom Holland's role. I think if he was given more, I do thank you for the comment, my friend. If Tom Holland was given more to do, I think he could have been a little bit better. I think he was underutilized a little bit too much in here. He paired well with John Bernthal on screen. Obviously, those two work well together. They got another movie coming out this year. Tom Holland's character, not terrible. I think he was underutilized, though. He definitely portrayed that childlike innocence for DC's son. Cool. I think they could have given him a little bit more to do. Tom Holland's a good actor. He's a really good actor. Wish they would have given him more, though. Would have been nice to see. But the movie starts off with Ellen Page. I've said it once. I'll say it again. You can do whatever you want. You're an adult. It's your body. I don't really give a shit. But for as many times as this was advertised, posted, shown to all of us, you are maybe in this movie for 5 minutes. Maybe. A lot of people can address, obviously, the controversy that was coming around for this crap already. Playing Achilles. Now, do I feel that this was a proxy in some ways? So we'll get into that. Yes, I do. But having also the dual role that she has, you cannot tell me enough that a 5'2" person, Elliot, is going to be representing anything for a Greek soldier. It's just not going to happen. I don't buy it. It's not going to work for me, man. Christopher, you knew what you were doing. But it's his movie. Hey, he can do what he wants. Fine. Because as much as this was shoved down everyone's throat with Alan Page, glad that we can say we agree on that, buddy. I like Tom Holland. He's a good dude. Got some good stuff. But as much as Elliot, Ellen, whatever, that weighs 100 pounds soaking wet, you cannot convince me that she is a Greek soldier. You just can't. I know it. The audience knows it. Sorry, I'm not buying it. And we all have seen, if you haven't seen it on already, the infamous running scene. I cannot buy that. I cannot get behind it at all. Little wonky, little goofy, little weird. And look, I know it might sound like I'm trying to take a shit on him. I'm not. But come on. But trust me, they are not going to be in this movie very long. Because her screen time, after she's running and gangling down the beach, is only going to be for a few minutes. And boom. Down they go. Right in the shoulder. They're done. Quickly. And that's one of the things I didn't really understand. As much as you wanted to show everyone that they were in this movie, A, B, C, and D, you got rid of them within the first 5 minutes. Okay, fine. But that was it. Now, when it comes to screen time, somebody else is only going to be in this movie because Elliot and Lupita Nyong'o as Helen of Troy have an on-screen time combined of 10 minutes. 10 minutes is all the on-screen time that they had throughout the Odyssey. I find that very odd. I found that a little interesting. Didn't make a lot of sense to me at all. We've all seen the interviews. We've all seen the memes, which are just great, by the way. The memes are fantastic. And we all knew what was coming from it. Now, things are just going to keep getting a little bit more interesting. Because, yes, there is another role in this movie. But we will get into that in due time. Talked about the 700,000 dislikes for a Christopher Nolan movie. That is absolutely insane. Is it due to the casting? Is it due to the script? Was it due to anything else? Because Homer's Odyssey, and like I said, let me know, chat. I am not going to pretend like I'm a Homer scholar or anything else. I don't know all that much about it, nor will I pretend to. But when you're adapting Homer's work, a story that is over 3,000 years old, that's going to be a hard one because you're looking at it when he tried to sink this into a 2 hour and 52-minute movie. It's a long one. And for me, it drug a good bit. This movie drug. Some people want to complain about the armor. Some people want to, if you look at Agamemnon in it, you know what? I'm probably messing that name up too, but that's okay. Because you have to look at still with the on-screen stuff. Lupita Nyong'o, who also was, yes, Helen of Troy, also plays her twin sister, Clytemnestra. We're going to get into that. We will get into that, folks. It's the most popular story in the world. I think the armor was fine. I cannot say that I am an armor scholar. I cannot say that I am. I can't go into this with a historian or accurate setup. I can't do that. How's it supposed to look? Not look? I can't say. Did it look fine to me in some things? Sure. But I am speaking from this merely as a fan and the little research that I was able to do. So for the armor, I cannot say. I cannot say. What I can say visually, yes, I did appreciate the visuals in this movie. Visually, it looked very good. Very good indeed. But you have the aspects from the Odyssey and Calypso, as well as the Lotus Eaters. I was not very familiar at all with the parts of the Lotus Eaters, but they will come in towards the end of the movie. They will take a look at all that stuff then. I think people are being a little too critical on the costume design and the writing. Again, I can't say anything else from the writing. My opinion, though, I did not expect at all when you had Robert Pattinson calling Tom Holland pining for daddy. Did they use those words back then? I cannot say. That is not fair for me to say. Pining for daddy, I did not expect. When he was on the beach and he's screaming, "Let's go." I cannot say otherwise. I am a man with an opinion. That is it. And I am just giving my thoughts. Interesting? Sure. This movie should have just said, like father. I would agree. Simple. Because I think when you introduce things like that into the movie, it's going to throw people off. They are not going to know what's going on. And it's just, wait a minute. Where'd that come from? What are you talking about? Feel like dad is a little too modern. Yes. Yes. If you were heard somebody say something like "I Poppy" or something like that during the movie, yeah, would have thrown me out. Would have thrown me out. You look at also the stuff they were throwing in this movie, the mutiny, slaughter of the sacred herd. One of the big things that they decided to have in this movie. Again, talk about all that stuff later, folks. Now, was there a certain amount of precedence that they tried to show in with the movie? Yes, because as we've always said, some of the biggest and more precedent issues that they were trying to show with the armor. Good, bad, ugly, that is all for you to decide. I cannot say otherwise. That is not fair. Do I think maybe that this looks like a broom? Hey, again, you guys can do your thing. Let's talk about the cast. You want to talk about the cast? We're going to talk about the cast. I will say Zendaya probably has the world's best agent in the world. I don't know. Like, I don't have a problem with Zendaya. She's got some of the biggest things under her belt. Euphoria, Spider-Man, Dune, her agent. I don't know who's got dirt on them, but Zendaya will always have the same expression on her face over and over again. As Athena. Okay. Matt Damon as Odysseus. I didn't mind him. Not mind him at all. Anne Hathaway as Penelope. I was not sure how she was going to be for that role. Little research that I was able to do, it seemed like she was giving a little bit too much and trying a little too hard, maybe even a little overacting. That is what it seemed like. I didn't even realize too that Mia Goth was in this movie. You almost blink and you miss her. I actually like Mia Goth. I think she's a pretty good actor. Do you think she's a pretty good actor? I will say that. Travis Scott is crazy though in a movie about the Odyssey. Yeah, that again, that was one of the biggest things that I don't think a lot of people look. You can be okay with it, not okay. I can't see his character. I just see Travis Scott. That and having a concert that like killed 7 people, something like that is crazy. But one person that I did see who was getting a lot of praise, John Leguizamo. I generally I tune out, try to tune out everything celebrities say, just because I honestly do not care. You want to preach from your ivory towers? Go ahead, have fun, do your thing. I thought his performance was okay, and especially if you're a dog person. Maybe, maybe not. You might not like it. That is up for everyone to decide. Careful if you're a dog fan in this movie, though. Cast, cast and all, you had a very big cast. Very big cast. Performances were okay. But for me, in my opinion, the best character, I'm giving it to Pattinson. Right when he got on screen as Antinius, that was came off as an absolute prick right away. You knew what his goal and his intentions were the whole time. Played it very well. And let's face it, the guy needs something else to do because the Batman Part 2 is not coming out until 2028. Guy's got time to kill now. Oh god, we're gonna have to do a separate stream to just address all those issues. One of the things that indeed was an issue, and I will have to agree. Lupita Nyong'o as Helen of Troy.
I'd be like, so Homer, how do you feel about the screen time given to these women, considering how little you spent with them? Oh, okay.
And then do you lean forward and look?
Let's
at him
listen to
like
that one
Yeah,
more
it's like-
time.
I'd be like, so Homer, how do you feel about the screen time given to these women, considering how little you spent with them? Oh, okay.
Why? Say what you want. You can honestly do what you want. I don't have a problem with Lupita Nyong'o. I'm sure she is a very nice person, but that was just too much. Great role. Great role. You did really good. Again, Lupita Nyong'o, I'm sure she is a nice person, but her screen time, very, very, very short. Combined with Paige's, 10 minutes. And I'm being generous when I say 10 minutes. That is all. Because Lupita Nyong'o, as Helen of Troy, the face that launched 1,000 ships, also plays twin sister Clynestra. That is something that would scare probably the ever living hell out of me. That is not something I want to toy with. That is not something I want to play around with. But here's the thing. Helen of Troy is a child of Zeus. Helen of Troy, child of Zeus. Clynestra is not. And look, here's the thing, folks. If you think that Lupita Nyong'o is the best thing since canned bread, and you think she is that beautiful, go ahead. Go ahead. And you know what? She wanted to make her statements about taking this role and A, B, C, and D. You know what? Fine. She wanted to get her bag. Go ahead. I hope it was worth a very short screen time. But I still find it very, very interesting that this is what they wanted to show constantly. But if you go back and you think about it and you really look at it, very, very few was she actually shown in the trailer because they knew of the backlash. They knew what was coming. All right. Because here's the thing. With Helen of Troy and my little research that I was able to do, Helen of Troy in the Iliad, though, was so desired. Okay. Not that she was just as attractive, but desired by men. It was to a point of lust that she could get men to do anything at all because she was that beautiful. Now that's in the Iliad. This movie, sorry, could not buy it. I could not buy that whatsoever. Again, let me know. Let me know who should have played Helen of Troy. Because there were plenty more options. and why Christopher Nolan chose to go this route. Is it because he wanted an Oscar? Is it because someone told him to behind a bigger desk? That is up for you to decide. Again, I am a man with an opinion. That is all. But I will say still, go back again. Doubt I'm probably going to want to see this movie again, though. Pattinson's role, the best. John Leguizamo's as Emus, Emos, not terrible. Had better, had worse. Not too bad, though. But you go into the next part. We'll jump into this. You heard a lot of people say there are horror elements in the Odyssey. This ain't no horror movie, folks. I will tell you that right now. Not a horror movie. There was a horror attempt, but a lot of people are saying that the Cyclops scene in here was supposed to be horror. It's, for me, it was nothing that I saw as any other horror movie at all. I just didn't see it any other way. I will give note that Christopher Nolan took a jab at it. Okay. You know what? Not too bad. Not too bad. Agree, this is a bot horror movie. It was not that horror. I did not think so. I did not think so. Some people are praising that it was. I would disagree. Again, some of the elements that they put in with the pigs, if you know, you know, was not that good. But okay. But you have Cersei in this movie, Samantha Morton. Samantha Morton in this movie. Yeah, okay. Plays a little bit of a different role, and I was never too familiar with Samantha Morton at all, quite honestly. Okay, not bad. Not bad. Do I think she was a massive standout? No. Do I think the script that she was given was good? Yeah. Because that's one of the things, let's face it. I don't think, and I don't even blame a lot of the actors in this movie. I got to blame the script a little bit. And if I got to blame the script, Nolan, I'm talking to you. This is on you, buddy. They could have done more, maybe a little less. Dial them in with what they needed. Yeah, I think it just could have been a lot better. Could have been a lot better. Because then you have characters like Benny Safdie as, and I'm going to screw this too, Agamemov. I'm probably screwing that up. Very, very little work in this movie. Not a lot. Not a lot at all. But if you look at the parts from the Odyssey, specifically with Odysseus rising the bodies from Hades. When they were there, they're talking, okay. Because then if you look at parts from the basic interpretation from what I've seen, and I might be wrong, she stabbed somebody. A lot of people were divided, but a lot of people divided by Clytemnestra did stab somebody in the original interpretation. And I believe it was supposed to be Agamemnon. You know what? Agamemnon, that's what we're going to call him. That is what we're going to call him. Stabbed by Clytemnestra. And I would not want to be stabbed at all, quite honestly. You got this lady coming at me with a blade. I'm good, man. I do not want or need that on my conscience. That is not going to be serving me well at all. But still, we move on. Cyclops still. One of the most important scenes if you're familiar from anything with the Odyssey. Some people, again, were disappointed by this scene. I thought it was okay. Praising Nolan for using a giant 60-foot puppet, apparently. Okay, fine. In the movie, on the island, you have the sheep, you have Cyclops trying to escape. But if you've seen anything, they try to blind him. All right. Cyclops introduction in the movie, you do see, and that's again what they want to talk about, the horror part. Okay, you can do that. I thought it was good. I am glad that you enjoyed it, my friend. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Some of the work that they tried to do, different. I'll say that it was different indeed. There's a siren outside. But they tried it because originally, Odysseus never revealed to the Cyclops who he is. No identity. Because Cyclops is the son of Poseidon. Son of Poseidon. All right. Son of Poseidon then. But they have to do everything they can to escape. Cyclops gets him in, blocks him. Not too happy. Because originally, Cyclops was praying to Poseidon to fuck up the sea. Praying, get him out, get him going, do what you got to do. Fine. You're going to be escaping eventually from the Cyclops with the sheep running down, back to the lakes, to the boats, get him in, get him out. Alrighty then. But they escape with the sheep, running back down. Odysseus shoots the arrow. Cracks him. All right. And you figured at least maybe, because here's the thing. Odysseus with the bow is supposed to be one of the more enlightening, or a lot of people are going to say the better parts of the movie. But unfortunately, that does not come to the end. It doesn't come to the end, folks. And we will get there momentarily. There's not much more. Some good, some bad, maybe. We'll have to see. We will have to see. Now, if she still has it up. And also, you have to give respect to the memes that they have been doing for the Odyssey.
Legend says she was the most beautiful woman in the ancient world.
You bet your ass I am.
You gotta respect it. Gotta respect it. Gotta love it. But memes notwithstanding. Memes notwithstanding. There is also more to the Odyssey, folks. Some people enjoyed the parts of it. And you know what? Some did not. That is all right. Sinon and Hades. You have the underworld part that a lot of people were looking forward to. Okay. So, Elliot Page as Sinon or Sinon. Who knows at this point? I could be wrong, and that is all right. That is okay. Different aspects that they tried to make with Battinson's father and made a deal with Cenon's father to change their places. All right, fine. Because Cenon, page 2, we will say L at page 2, wants to shame him. But here's the thing. That was not in the Iliad. That was not in there at all. And if I'm wrong, please feel free to let me know so I can make that correction. Because there's a lot about this world that I do not know. And I'm not going to pretend that I do. But as a fan and as a spectator, so be it. As I said earlier, proxy for Achilles, Ella Page's character, as Cenon. I can see that. Yeah, I can absolutely see that. Do I agree with it? No. Because here's the thing, folks. Again, you can't convince me that a 5'2" person is going to do anything as a soldier-like war soldier-esque part for this movie. Because the rumors before everything and anything kicked off with this movie at all, people were losing their minds that Paige was going to be Achilles. Absolutely not. And if a lot of people thought that what was going on at this point was crazy, if you would have made Paige any part of Achilles or the ghost of Achilles, yeah, congratulations, Christopher. You are going to receive much more backlash. But Odyssey still, because Odysseus is then going to be going to Calypso. And there is, as I said earlier, feeding of the lotus flowers. That was not in Homer's work. From what I have been able to see, that part, feed lotus, was not in Homer's work. Because here's the thing that I did not feel with Odysseus. Supposed to be this commanding presence, this intense general. That could have been
Where is
Helen
Helen?
too.
Bring her to me! Achilles! I'm
here.
here!
Shit.
What took y'all so damn long? Do you understand how long I've been waiting in this city? Don't you know I'm the most beautiful damn woman in the whole damn world? 10 years of war, and not one of y'all thought to check inside.
The internet, as I said, remains undefeated. When I see stuff like that, I will get angry. Helen of Troy, absolutely
This might be
not.
the weirdest school
We all agree with. But
commute you'll ever.
alas, still, with everything that a lot of people were saying and trying to figure out with this movie, fine. You have Odysseus, goes to Calypso. He does get fed lotus. Again, not in Homer's work. Fine. He eventually makes a raft to go back to Ithaca. Gets his bow to kill all of the suitors. I did not feel the command, general, impeccable leader qualities that I thought we were going to see as Odysseus. I just didn't see it. If other people did, let me know. I did not see that giant leader mentality that was coming through from Matt Damon. And he's a great actor. I like Matt Damon. That in every movie that he's in, he's always trying to get home one way or another. And again, as it continues, Matt Damon is just trying to get home. He does get back. He does get back indeed. And takes down the suitors. The fight was okay at best. Some of his best moments are going to be right with his bow towards the end of the movie. Okay, fine. But then you do have Himesh Patel that ironically says that we are Greeks from Ithaca. A little ironic, don't you think? Himesh Patel says that we are Greeks from Ithaca. Look, here's the thing. Again, I'm a guy with an opinion on the internet. That is it. And I cannot pretend that I know a lot of his work from the Odyssey, Homer, nothing. I can speak mostly, if not 95%, as a fan of cinema and a spectator and a guy with a fucking opinion. But this movie could have been so much better if you completely took the Odyssey aspect out of it. And if Nolan just made his own movie, did his own thing, I think at that point, if you would have made a completely different movie and separated your Odyssey aspects from this movie and made something new, made something different, did your own thing, Nolan, I think this could have been much better. Some people are praising this movie. And some people are having some meltdowns. And we are going to go back. Oh, God. Yep. Face that launched 1,000 ships, folks. Because that is what they do. Because, as many people have already seen, as I'm sure, we again have our old friend, Angry Joe. Angry Joe, which, and look, I have no problem saying it. I used to watch Angry Joe. I used to like some of his stuff. I used to like some of his takes. No problem admitting it. None whatsoever. But Jesus Christ, Joe, you need to calm the hell down and get your ass off the fucking internet. Go, just do something. Go get laid, smoke a cigarette, have some waffles. I don't know what it is. Because again, I'm learning from you guys, though. Y'all crash out on a daily basis over being bad and woke, right? Wait a minute. Do you guys get anything out of posting all these crash outs? Don't worry, though. Unlike y'all, I just keep it to my Twitter. I don't make it my whole entire channel. All right. BRB, I'm going to go film my Odyssey. I will take a look at it when it's done, my friend. Joe again with the crash outs. Here's it. Look, Joe, you can do your thing. You can do whatever you want, man. Your channels, your Twitter, your YouTube, whatever social media platforms you're on, go ahead. But again, just a few hours ago after this, here's the Lamborghini Christopher Nolan bought us for paid positive reviews. You know what, Josie? Because I'm telling you right now, his crash outs continue. I'm going to go make another Angry Joe video. I appreciate everyone that enjoyed my Angry Joe take from Supergirl, which was a complete shit bag of a movie. But Joe just cannot control himself. And here's the look, if you liked this movie, If you enjoyed this movie and you thought it was the best thing since canned bread, I commend you. Some people loved it. Some people thought it was mid. Some hated it. And there are some that completely refuse to even go see it. But Josie here, praised by audience and critics, Odyssey is now a massive commercial hit worldwide. Despite months-long right-wing anti-woke influencers backlash trying their hardest to call it woke and steer people away, I think we can assess that whatever influencer the Chud sphere thought they had is now dead. Okay, Joe. Regular people don't give a shit and just want to watch a good movie. All right. I'll tell you what, Joe. I will bite. I will bite, my friend. Hear me out. Hear me out, chat. Channing Tatum, T'Challa, Wakanda 3. There. Got it. Take my money. Take my money. Go ahead. But why not, right? We can't complain about changing, race swapping. He's a fictional character. It's fine. But we can't do that, can we, folks? Because that would be wrong. But we can't do that because you can guarantee if they did that with Black Panther, people would be losing their goddamn minds. And you can call me wrong. I will die on that fucking hill. I will absolutely die on that hill. They would lose their minds. But alas, some people are liking this movie. Some people are not. P.S. You're a conservative who wants to see your values, reverence for sacred, affectionate, permanent things, love for the beautiful, alive mainstream culture again in your lifetime. I cannot stress this enough. Service, you are grifters. That is the world that we are living in now, folks. That is our world. That's it. The crash shots are coming. I still don't know how to use streaming. I'm getting there. That is our world. But hey, like I said, let me know if you enjoyed the Odyssey. I'm glad that you did. I'm glad that you did. For me personally, this movie would have been a lot better if this had nothing to do or even reference the Odyssey and Nolan tried to make it his own thing. If he wanted to make this an Atlantis movie, something along those lines, steer clear, obviously, from your Aquaman crap. I think it could have been much better. The fact that this had a tie-in with it, or even say it was an adaptation of it, did not blend well, and people spoke their minds. Because this movie will not flop. The Odyssey will not flop. It will underperform, though. And that is the best description and way I think I can give it, is that the Odyssey will underperform. But time will tell. Time will tell, folks. And we are going to have to see what happens with the Odyssey. Thank you all for joining me. I do appreciate all of you very, very much. If you enjoyed my streams, please like, share, and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you thought about the Odyssey. Because the backlash is still going to keep coming. Because all the chuds, right, folks? All the chuds. I appreciate all of you. As always, until we meet again.